All right, guys, I finally got around to installing this Brand X voltage regulator for a dual alternator. I'll run over this real quick. Cinch wire, hook that like straight to the charge stud on back of one of your alternators. Ground it. Ignition, I run it through this relay that comes on with the key, straight from battery to, it gets clicked on with ignition to there. I got a P6 gauge here to my battery in the back. And then these are my two Fields wires from my voltage regulator. Cool thing about this, you can add two more. There's where the fuses go. I got it set to C-Max. And this thing's been a pain in the butt, guys. You adjust it by this itty bitty gold colored knob right there. That'll give you an idea how small that thing is. So, I got two alternators. I got one up here and good Lord, guys, you see one down there. Currently, I'm running a Brand X down below and an Autotech up here. A 320 and like a 370. This is a pretty powerful alternator. Things that I'm having issues with so far is I've been adjusting the crap out of this thing. My Jeep's set for a couple days. So, yeah, we'll get into this. So, my Jeep had set for a couple days, and it was at 15.5. With my Fatboy voltage regulator, even having one alternator turned off and only on one, I could basically, start the Jeep after it's set for a couple days. It'd be at 15.5-ish. And I could just let it sit there and idle for a bit. And it would pretty quickly jump up to 16 volt. I put these things in, and you got to adjust by that gold knob. And I've turned that thing about 150 times. Counterclockwise is what ups the voltage. And after the first 100, me and the wife drove it for like 30 minutes straight. And I got up to, let's see here. I got up, I guess, to 15.7. I pulled over, turned it counterclockwise a few more times, drove for another 10 minutes, and it went up to 15.8. And the max that it seemed like it wanted to go to was 15.87. I kept hooking my multimeter up under the hood, because that's going to kind of tell you what's coming out of the alternators, and then my volt gauge in the dash is connected straight to the battery here. But I came home, shut it off, rechecked everything, made sure it was right. And I just kept turning and turning and turning. And this is what's really weird, is you can adjust. And then I had to have the multimeter probed into the wires under the hood and say, the thing would be sitting at 15.7 is what it'd be reading, idling. And that's both alternators supposedly on. But I rev it, and it started going up after I adjusted more on it. And at one point the wife said I had it at 16.5, but only when I would rev it. So I had to go back and adjust it down, which you're doing blindly, because unless the engine is revved, you're not going to get anywhere near an accurate reading on it, which sucks. But I would have it revved, read it, go back, make adjustments. And right now, revved, I'm at 16.2, which is kind of where I want to be. But as soon as I let off revving, it drops down to 15.7. I don't know. And it seems like it has taken forever to see any voltage change back here, which with my Fatboy, it was a few minutes, and my volt gauge in the dash would let me, it would tell me where I'm at. So far, I've never seen 16 volt on my actual volt gauge in the dash, just at what's charging when I'm revving. And I've had the thing, between the idling and driving time, probably an hour and a half. So I don't know. I mean, I got it revving at 16.2 now. Hopefully I can go drive it and maybe see over 16 on my in-dash volt gauge that I put in that's connected to the battery. But I'm just wondering why it doesn't kick both alternators in. It don't seem like, they're doing anything hardly at all. Like idle, I should have something coming out of the alternators, I played music in it, not full tilt, but I leaned on it a little bit, parked and idled. And that's one of the times I got it to 15.8. And I mean, it dropped quick. I mean, well, not quick, but I mean, I went down to like 15.6 really fast. And it seemed like the alternators wasn't wanting to do anything, because I turned the volume down and, it took like 5 minutes to get back up to like 15.7. So I don't know. I mean, according to everything on his website, I got this thing hooked up correctly, they recommend 8 gauge. I got 6 on it, which is bigger. The sense wires to the alternator stud for charging. I got a good ground ignition. I mean, what else is there? The Fields wires. I'm assuming, I hope that both, the fuses are good in there. I mean, it was brand new. It's just puzzling. Because if it don't want to like actually put out like the actual potential of the alternator, I don't know if it's going to be good. I sent Brand X Electrical a message on Facebook, because there's no way to get a hold of them at all. And they did reply. Yeah, he said he couldn't see the video. I actually sent him a video of what's going on. And, he's just like, I can't see the video, what's going on. So I sent like 4 messages back, and of course he ain't seen them, which is kind of how I actually wound up with a Brand X, an Autotech Engineering alternator, because I ordered an alternator from him for the wife's Blazer. I'd already had a Brand X on here. I ordered a Brand X for her Blazer. And, I have to message alternator companies, because none of them actually want to put external regulator on their website. They just want you to buy a bullshit alternator that's internally regulated. And a lot of us don't run that shit. So, of course, I got to message them. So, I sent him a message. They got back with a pay link and everything. I paid. And then a few minutes later, I'm like, you know what? I'd like to put a better second alternator on that old Jeep. Hell, I'll order another Brand X. I sent them like 15 messages, and they didn't read them. It's just like the issue I got now. They don't read, they'll read one message from you and then skip. So, after 2 days of trying to get a reply from them, I ordered the Autotech. And it seems to be an ongoing issue I have with Brand X. They'll reply to one message, and then they're just kind of like, fuck you after that. So, and I mean, I know a lot of people like Jonathan. It's just the issue that I have. They need to get on top of that shit. Because there's actually no product support at all. I even was like, dude, if you leave a phone, I left my phone number. I'm like, if you'd call me, because there's questions I have. Like, is this mother bleeper ever going to actually put out amperage of the alternator? What do I got to do to get it to put out amperage? Because right now, this thing's not very great. And I don't want to leave it a shitty review without giving it a chance. And all I can tell you is the facts. This thing is not charging worth of crap. If I got to drive for 40 minutes to get it to go up 0.2 of a volt, and I can sit here in my driveway and finally get it to break a 16, but that's only revving. Why is it when I let off, it ain't wanting to build my battery up to 16? The Fatboy did that like quickly. And this thing, it ain't wanting to get my battery nowhere near 16. Why is it only doing 16 volt revving? The Fatboy had all this stuff under control. And there's things I hated about the Fatboy. But the last few months, after I wired my Fatboy, all the wires back to the battery bank, and finally got it dialed in at 16.1, it stayed there. I haven't touched the knob on that thing in like months. But I ordered the Brand X months ago, and it seemed like a way better product. But I can't leave a good review on it because I don't know. Nobody's got back to me from Brand X. And I said, I don't want to leave a shitty review on it, but I don't know what to do at this point. I mean, they're terrible at replying to more than one message, apparently. Which, if they replied to messages, I'd have had 2 Brand X alternators on here. But anyway, if you might see a follow-up on this video. I mean, well, another part from where I'm ending now on this exact video, because it's like probably 1 or 2 o'clock now, I think, and I'm not gonna upload this video till later. So, you know, we're gonna see if we hear back from Brand X and what they say. So yeah, that'll be on this video if I do hear back from them. Like I said, I don't know. And if I don't hear back from them, it'd be kind of a bad review on this thing, because it is doing terrible right now. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Peace out. Bass on. So, Brand X did finally reply to me. Same as he does everybody else. You know, he tried to say, I guess I was doing something wrong. Told me to just turn that little knob all the way back down and start over. I did. The most this thing will charge to is 15.8. I have turned the knob all the way down and started over with my multimeter under the hood, probing right where they come out of the alternator, and it will not go over 15.8. I mean, it's been at 15.8. I drove my house like, it's about good 16 miles to get into a decent little restaurant. So it was at 15.8 there, and I kept pulling over and giving it a turn. And it stayed at 15.8. And when I left the restaurant, I pulled over like 5 times on the way home. I even tried resetting it one time where I turned it all the way down and back up. And, you know, you can get 16.0 out of it revving, but you're never going to get like, for the guys that want to charge, you know, at like 16.2 or more, you're not going to do it. This thing will not do it. And it seems like it don't want to kick the alternators in like the Fatboy did. Like the Fatboy, the alternators, you could tell they were kicking in, you know. With this, it's like there's no change in idle when you try to turn this thing up or nothing. Playing music, I'm getting like worse voltage drop than I did with the Fatboy, because my alternators are just kind of like chilling out. So, do I recommend the Brand X voltage regulator? Absolutely not. I don't. Not at all. I'd stick with the Fatboy or even the Transpo, because I know that you can get 16 volts out of them units, and it's like I got a $250 paperweight here, which I'm gonna play with it for the next week and see what it does. But you know, if you drive 30 miles and you're not getting over 15.8 and you keep turning it up, something's wrong. So that's what happened. I mean, can't recommend it, guys. Just can't do it.